I work really, really well inside of a box, inside of a very small, creative box. And when Beanpole approached me, it was very easy to understand what we would do because they know exactly who they are, which is, British heritage. Something very straightforward and literally inspired by that. And for me, I work on and with American heritage, which comes really from that. So it was sort of a fun opportunity to just sort of put a different hat on and think about stuff that might be pretty cliche, perhaps, or the stuff that I was already doing for band, but in a different way. So what I wanted to do with this one in particular was I was thinking about who we are, which is Los Angeles, and something, sort of a new version of something very old, and redefining heritage, and who they were, which was British heritage. And the first thing that came to mind was David Hockney, and who's one of my favorite artists, and also like a total style inspiration. And he's a British guy, a British artist who lived in LA for most of his adult life, and he created a lot of his most important work here. And at the same, his sense of style felt quite British, kind of mod and kind of preppy and all that. But his work really is so much about Los Angeles and that sort of spirit of Los Angeles. And it just seemed like a no-brainer, like such a cool collection to do. And something I really wouldn't do for band. I think that can really go cliche, but inside of a little box, it started to make a lot of sense. And then, with the opportunity to do women's, was sort of taking that silly spirit that Hockney had towards dressing, and mixing plaids and mixing dots and stripes and all that stuff, and applying it to something for women that was, sort of chic and also really focused on who that Beanpole woman was. And that's, she's going, it's fashion, but she's got places to be. She's going to work, and she's going to, a specific place at night, and, there again, it was a nice little box within which to work.
Right. Maybe can you tell us a little bit about how the customers should style this collection?
Well, it's interesting. I design this by look. Which when I do the collections, I always have an idea in mind of a woman or a guy and sort of the way they're going to dress, but I don't really design by look. I then, on my normal collections, just go into the pieces and really focus on this. And this time, these were looks, it was really focused on that. At the same time, everything I do is really about mixing and matching and putting your own sense of style. But the David Hockney way of dressing is really about making super odd choices, really mixing stuff up. So for the men's line, for example, the socks we're selling are mismatched. So when you buy a pair of socks...
mismatched.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, tell me about the mismatching socks again.
Well, it's just a typical Hockney sort of thing, like the suspenders we made too. So when you buy a sock, the left one will be red and blue striped, and the right one will be just green or maybe a polka dot pattern. And I think that what we're trying to do there, what I was trying to do is instill this sense of freedom in dressing and fun and sense of humor, which I think is really important. And I think it's really what American heritage and British heritage preppy clothes are about. Just mixing it up and sort of taking a uniform, because they're all uniforms, and making it your own.
Right. So they are free to mix and match and have fun.
Please.
Okay, that's good. Tell us about yourself. Okay, I will just break up this question into a few pieces. When did you start your collection? When was your first collection?
Well, let's see. I started the company at the end of 2003, and I put together a small collection. I think I guess it would have been, it was pretty much, it wasn't really a collection, it was shirts and ties. And I showed a bunch of stores. We had enough that whatever I was selling, I had it. I already had made it. It was that type of thing. And the first time something really happened was in about May of 2004. I met, all in the same week, I met Stephen Allen, Jeffrey, from Jeffrey, New York, the head of men's buying at Barney's, and my showroom with the news. And during that time, I really was able to go to start, and I then worked on a fall collection for that year. But still, shirts and ties, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
slowly, the next season I had a few pair of pants, and then slowly each season as I learned to design, because I was learning as I was going, I just added pieces that made sense. Most importantly, suits, which really for several years, that was my collection, suits and shirts and ties. And really recently, because I have all these great resources in Italy and Japan, to make whatever I want, how I want it, a bomber jacket, a fur coat, whatever it is. I'm really able to just sort of fly, it's nice.
Great. Tell us a little bit about why did you first make your shirts and ties?
I don't know. It was my gut. It just said, this is what you should do. Because I knew I was going to make preppy clothes, because that's what I love. And I knew what I wanted them to be and what I didn't want them to be. I used to shop at all these great stores, and I would love the idea of the clothes. You would touch them and they were almost too nice. They were too shiny, they were too slick. All the European clothes. And I really felt that there was a customer, me, who wanted something that fit in that way, and that felt special in that way, and considered and thoughtful in that way. But that didn't feel like it was for a rich person. So it just made sense to me that I could get this full idea of this this new idea of preppy across with a shirt and a tie. And that would be the look. That would be enough to really help people understand what I was trying to do.
Tell us about your everyday wardrobe.
That's a good point. Well, now it depends, but pretty much I started making polo shirts last year, and it's a separate collection called This Is Not a Polo Shirt. And it's all about polo shirts. And now I find myself, because we finally have all these styles, they're so light and comfortable, I just throw a polo shirt on every day, pretty much. And in the winter, or my real new uniform, if you went to the show, a lot of the guys were wearing pajamas.
Yes.
I wear pajamas, pants everywhere. I wear them out to dinner, I don't care. People
look at you like this?
Los Angeles is pretty great that way. In New York, I would wear them in the morning to go to Starbucks, and people looked at me like I was crazy. But here, it's funny, the nicest restaurant, people are wearing t-shirts and jeans. It's a totally different attitude here. And it's not an attitude, it's not lazy, it's just, our connection to the outdoors and sort of just comfort and ease is just totally different. So, yeah, I think next I'll just go everywhere in a bathrobe.
That's funny. But that's true. I mean, everybody's ready to run or something.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Ready to run or sleep.
Or out of bed. Okay. Can you talk about the GFDA award and all that too?
Oh God, what do you say about that without sounding like a prick? Yeah, it's funny.
What year was it?
I won twice. I won
for the
right there.
New designer and also menswear. Yeah,
so new designer, which was a couple years ago, and menswear, which was maybe when was it? 2000. What year is it now? So I think it went menswear in 2009 and new designer in 2008. And I don't know. We're out here. We don't pay attention to what's going on. So those awards come, and it's like, all right. I'll go to the show. That's cool. It's very funny. I don't know what to say about it, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Does it make big difference? Has it made a difference, like in terms of your sales or media attention?
You know what it is? I think that it took people. It's a combination of everything, not just an award or
right.
But all these shows that we do, these presentations that aren't quite shows, and that, and our, you know, the way I shoot a campaign with the Polaroids, and all these pieces are, I think, adding up where people finally really understand that we're not trying to be like everybody else.
Right.
We love what everybody else does. We're not trying to put it down. We're just doing what we do, and it's everything that people love about fashion, but it's something totally different. So, and it all that combined is really great, because I think that I have more freedom just to sort of not worry and just sort of keep going and do what we do, which is just make, you know, pretty wearable but fresh clothes. Hi Beanpole team, how are you doing? Saying hello from LA. See you in a few days.